Welcome to Who Yelling Now, Season 3, Episode 11, titled The Good Citizen. Copyright Mackenzie. Last episode, we talked destiny, about trust. If it's yours, it's yours. About letting go. Some of you may have felt peace. But before anyone can let go, first they have to understand what they're holding. Today, we're going to talk about the people peace never comes to. Because if it's true that what is yours will be yours, then we have to answer the question no one wants to ask. Why do some people wait their entire lives and never receive? Why do some people do everything right and still never arrive? Not because they're lazy, not because they were reckless, not because they didn't believe hard enough. This is not a failure of effort. This is not a lack of belief. This is not bad timing. This is design, because the world had already decided where they were allowed to stand. There is a rule that exists beneath every system. It is never written. It is never announced, but it is enforced daily. There is this rule we don't teach children, a rule we don't write into law books, a rule we pretend doesn't exist, but it governs everything. It's called the exception clause. The exception clause says, you may live, you may survive, you may exist, but not fully, not freely, not like them. Today, we are not talking about destiny. We are talking about permission. Permission to thrive. This episode is not about rebellion. It's not about refusal. It's not even about injustice. At least, not the kind that shouts. This episode is about the people who do everything right and still, just never seem to make it. The ones everyone depends on. The ones no one promotes. The ones the system praises quietly while keeping exactly. They keep them exactly where they are. This episode is about the good citizen. And if you listen closely, you might recognize someone you know or yourself. Here is another one of my stories. This one is called The good citizen. Everyone knows her. If she left the company, things would break. Not immediately, but noticeably. Processes would stall. New hires would struggle. Problems that never reach leadership suddenly would. She trains everyone. She remembers how things actually work. She fixes mistakes before they turn into meetings. And yet, she has never been promoted. She is underpaid, over-relied on, described as essential in rooms she is not invited into. People say, we'd be lost without her. She's the backbone. She's just so good where she is. Everyone knows her, including her. She tells herself she stays because she believes in good work, because loyalty matters, because someone has to be steady while others rotate through. She tells herself, if I keep showing up, someone will notice. If I stay indispensable, they'll do right by me. She believes effort accumulates. Her peers see it too. They admire her and they rely on her. They ask her for help, not change. They thank her, but never advocate loudly. She doesn't seem unhappy. She never complains. She's probably doesn't want more responsibility. They benefit from her stability without questioning its cost. Her managers know exactly who she is. They trust her more than anyone. They give her the hardest problems. They lean on her institutional memory because they do not know how to do a day successfully at work without her. But they do not promote her because promoting her would create a hole, because replacing her would require two people, because her excellence has made her structurally inconvenient. She's irreplaceable, they say, never noticing how close that word sits to immovable. And so she stays, not because she's weak, not because she lacks ambition, but because she believes something dangerous, that being good will eventually be enough. We all know that engineer. He designed the system the company lives on, the platform that pays everyone's salary. But his supervisor presented it, explained it, got promotions to leadership executive positions because of it. Yet, the engineer stays because he was taught that excellence speaks for itself. because he believes his craftsmanship will one day speak for itself, because he tells himself he doesn't need credit, until one day he realizes he has trained an entire generation of people to outrank him. And yes, we all know this fella. Then there is the doorman. 35 years. Same hotel. Same entrance. He knows the regulars by name. He senses trouble before it reaches the lobby. He protects the brand with his body and his manners. Why would someone remain a doorman for 35 years? Because he was told it was honest work. Because he was praised for reliability. Because every year they thanked him and never offered him a door beyond the one he held. Why would the hotel allow it? Because he is perfect where he is. Because continuity is cheaper than advancement. Because loyalty costs less than growth. Because as long as he stays smiling at the door, the illusion of order holds. The good citizen tolerates this existence for reasons that make sense. They were taught stability is virtue, patience is maturity, complaint is risk, loyalty will be rewarded. They believe systems are slow, not selective. They believe if they endure long enough, fairness will eventually notice them. They believe leaving would mean abandonment, ingratitude, failure, starting over too late. The system may not allow it. And the system reinforces this belief by praising them just enough to keep them still, not with cruelty, with compliments. The tragedy of the good citizen is not that they are unseen. It's that they are seen clearly and placed exactly where the system needs them. They are not stuck. They are positioned, and they remain because no one ever told them that being necessary is not the same as being valued. Here is a poem titled Positioned. They said I was dependable. They said I was solid. They said the place would fall apart without me. They never said I could rise. I held the weight. I carried the load. I became the reason nothing collapsed. And somewhere along the way, I mistook being needed for being chosen. The exception clause does not say no. That's the trick. It says, not yet. Not like that. Not here. Be patient. Be grateful. Wait your turn. The exception clause allows you to exist, but not only in the margins. It allows your labor, but not your comfort, your culture, but not your authority, your resilience, but not your rest. It praises your survival while quietly ensuring you never become a beneficiary. And the cruelest part? The clause is enforced with politeness, smiles, applause, encouragement. You are told, "You're doing so well. You're almost there. Just a little longer." And so you wait. Here is a poem titled "Permitted to Wait." I was given a place to stand and told it was freedom. I was handed a fence and told it was protection. They said, "You belong here," but never asked what I wanted to become. I was permitted to wait, permitted to hope, permitted to endure, but not to enter, not to expand, not to decide. They did not chain me. They thanked me. And somehow that hurt more. This episode is not an accusation. It's a mirror. If you see yourself here, know this. Your loyalty is not a flaw. Your patience is not foolish. Your goodness was never misplaced. But goodness alone does not move systems that benefits from your stillness. Okay, hard truth time. Here is the truth we avoid because it implicates comfort. Effort does not overcome exclusion. Patience can be weaponized. Hope can be used as sedation. Resilience can be exploited. Some systems require people to stay waiting so others can move freely. Some lives are not designed to arrive. They are designed to demonstrate restraint, to show gratitude under pressure, to absorb instability quietly, to normalize inequality by surviving its politeness. And when you ask why it hasn't happened yet, the answer is always you. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't wait long enough. You didn't believe correctly. But the truth is simpler and harsher. You were never meant to cross that line. You are positioned. This episode asks a harder question. Not why the good citizen waits, but what happens when they stop. This has been Who Yelling Now? I am Olga Foreign. See you in the next episode. Keep on yelling.